In our first session, we were introduced to Vivian, Clyde, and Tassles in the village of Belnora. A beautiful and idyllic small town, Belnora is ruled lovingly by the Archduke Remedine. Outside of the town, however, there have been rumors of violence and theft on the roads, and at the start of our story, the Archduke called for an emergency town meeting. Virtually strangers to each other, fate seemed to bring Vivian, Clyde, and Tassels together at this meeting. The Archduke informed everyone that the rumors of attacks outside of the town were true and that they'd begun to get too close to stand idly by. He'd be sending volunteers down the road to reestablish safety on the major trade routes by establishing a settlement halfway between Belnora and Prudence, a larger city in the east. Our three heroes were the first to sign up, each with their own private reasons for wanting to start again somewhere. As they signed their names, they agreed to stick together to grab some grub. They made their way to McGilliry's Lodge for a cheap meal and to get to know each other just a little bit better. However, after placing their orders, they overheard some ruffians talking about the appeal of highway robbery, and a small confrontation quickly escalated into a fight outside the bar. Despite intentions for the dispute to be settled by fists, things escalated further with magic and knives. Vivian first poisoned and then burned his adversary to death in self-defense, while Tassels and Clyde knocked their foes out with fists of fury. A quick discussion with local guards confirmed that Vivian did what was necessary, but he seems to be struggling with his first kill. As the time to set out on the open road approaches, the boys will have to tie up some loose ends and come to terms with what they done.
What they done?
What they done?
So you guys are right now still outside the bar. I believe that Tassels has begun to leave the scene.
Yeah, I'm headed back to the Temple of All to sort of grab my stuff, and I
leaving,
really just wanted to get out of the situation.
Leaving a beautiful hot meal behind.
Mm.
But
I suppose it'll just pay for itself too, then,
huh? The two of you guys are kind of standing, watching Tassels walk away from the crispy corpse that Vivian has created. What do you guys do?
I think we gotta go in because I'm hungry as hell.
Yeah.
And we gotta pay up.
Yeah.
On this meal.
Yeah.
Can't just leave right now. Can't just knock someone out and leave.
We know where Tassels is headed. We can find him. Let's pay for this meal. We're
Mm-hmm.
I really want to do the right thing after I just slayed this man.
Yeah, I think you should. I think that there's a scale that needs to be balanced.
Yeah, we got to balance this thing out. In fact, I'll take care of everyone's meal.
I'll be tipping 30% this evening.
Sorry about the mess.
Is that your one-liner that you're going to use after every fight?
Yeah. Sorry about the mess.
So you're going back to the temple there, Tassels. What are you doing when you get there?
I'm hoping to just cool down for a second, grab my stuff, and I was really planning on hopefully making it back, while the food is, not necessarily still hot, but considering we hadn't even been fed, we hadn't even been served our food. I don't know why this matters, but I'm just saying the food, don't worry about the food. You know what I'm saying?
The food wasn't at the table, all right? I have plenty of time, he says. How are you guys feeling? I mean, separately. I mean, how is this like? We talked about this a little bit before. Vivian, this is the first time you've killed someone. Tassels, I don't know if you've gotten into fights before, fist fights and stuff. I imagine that, the way you handled yourself, you'd probably been in a few, but, and then same with you, Clyde. I mean, the three of you guys just got into a fight, watched someone die, and then just are like, all right, I guess we'll go eat. So I just want to know what's on your minds.
I'm not going to eat. I'm going to just pay for the meal. Maybe just kind of bring my poppers back to the animals in the room. I've lost my appetite. Thank you.
Yeah, basically, I'm very survival oriented. Tassels is, and ready to kind of move on and get going.
That's done.
I think to some degree that's also true for Clyde. I don't think Clyde ever misses a meal if he can help it, no matter how traumatic a day he's had. Secondarily, I think as a ranger who has grown up under these kind of like hard times and hard circumstances, I don't know that he's necessarily like killed another being, but I don't think it shocks him. I think he's a little more hardened from kind of just living off, the land in the wilds.
That's a hard gnome.
It's a hard gnome.
I mean, this is nature's way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but when something like this happens, it's kind of just...
I mean, he's not reveling in it. He doesn't love that someone died, but I don't think it's going to get in the way,
of a hot meal.
Of a hot meal. Certainly not.
I mean, you have some charred quipper waiting on the table for you.
The quicker the better.
And there it is. You guys open the door. The poppers, the quipper, and the steak sandwich in the gumbo, the veggie gumbo, yeah. All on the table, surrounded by your drink orders. East Valley Rock Climber. I believe one of you guys got some, and then the other two of you guys got wine, right?
Yeah.
Some red wine. So the drinks are on the table with the food. The waitress has just dropped them off. And, she says, all right, enjoy, boys, enjoy. A few minutes, you guys sit down at the table. A few minutes later, Tassles does return with kind of like a bindle of just full of his few belongings.
Red and white polka dot bindle.
In that time, I have taken in both my beverage and Tassels' beverage.
Yeah, Tassels, your cup is empty, but your food is still warm.
I kind of give him one of these.
Chuff. The chuff is back.
The chuff is back.
Hey,
you got chuffed.
Hey, sorry.
You got chuffed.
Sorry, big man. Rough night out there, huh? I'm just,
Yeah.
Listen, I'll get you another one. It's on me tonight.
Okay.
The waitress comes back with a pitcher, fills up your wine goblets.
Thanks, Deborah.
She says, how's the rock climber?
This might be the greatest, if not the only, East Valley rock climber I've ever had in my whole life.
Well, we're happy to hear it. So the three of you guys are kind of just, you finish up your meals, I think you're kind of just staring at your poppers, I imagine.
I've already pocketed my poppers. Pocket popper.
And the sun is set outside, and as you guys finish your meals, the people from the the Archduke's Manor have all started to streaming in. It's getting really busy by the time you guys finish. And there are a lot of people kind of who are passing the scene outside, don't really seem that bothered by it.
I say I'm really glad that you burned that dude to a crisp before all these people got here.
Yeah, it would have been messy with the crowd, is somebody going to take care of that?
There's nothing to take care of. It's like,
well,
we throw our garbage in that ditch.
Oh,
that's all we did.
Man, I don't know about you. That's the first man that I've killed.
Listen, there's no reason for you to make a martyr out of your liver for him.
Listen, I'm
by the same token, I don't know that there's a terribly strong reason not to either. So I guess follow your liver and see where it takes you.
In East Valley Rock Climber, please, Deborah.
Why don't you make that a double, Deborah? Thank you so much. You're a sweetheart, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, Deborah.
At least somebody here understands my emotion, and I have many of them. Right now, can you hear it in the inflection?
Yep.
I'm a pretty emotional guy.
You can hear it. Fellers, I've got a concern that those gentlemen that we ended up getting into the old kerfuffle out in the alleyway, out in the street, I'm sure they're not the only ones in this town getting the bright idea that maybe they could lead a life of banditry based off of the spoils that have been coming in from the highwaymen aforementioned.
Based off of that meeting that we were all at and signed that paper, it seems like it's on the mind of most of the people in town.
That seems like it could pose to be an issue for the guards in this town. Is anyone keeping an eye?
Well, that's what that whole meeting was about. And the fact that we're building this outpost out in between towns is all about taking down these bandits.
So we're going to have to do this again, huh?
Listen, that could possibly...
You're going to be throwing quite a few more fireballs around, I think, there. Manor.
Well, by the way, if I could be very forward with you just for one moment, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, what is your name? Here I am. We killed a man together.
I usually love when I
And-
can find a bush and beat around it for a while, but in
I
this
don't
particular
remember.
instance,
I don't remember taking anyone's life before this meal.
It was us together.
you're killing me as we speak by not telling me your name.
Tell us your name, cowboy.
Well, if we're gonna be traveling the road together and everything like that, you guys can call me T.
T.
Okay,
That
T,
has
I
a
can
nice ring to it.
So the evening continues, and you guys are still kind of baffled by the lack of any reaction to what you left outside before people started coming through.
I think as I'm drinking on an empty stomach, I'm learning to cope with it a little better, especially that there's no reaction. It's like, all right, I didn't do a bad thing. I just did a thing. And if I did a thing, there's nothing immoral about that. We're just right down the middle, baby. We're clean.
It's about as neutral as you can get.
There we go. All right.
And the evening, it is kind of growing a little bit late. You guys are sitting at the table. It's completely crowded now. You can't even really hear yourselves talk to each other.
This is such a bunk town. I can't wait to get out of here. Look at these losers. They crowd in here every night.
What if we just get out of here right now?
Well, I got to take care of
I'm
all
feeling that.
the pets in my hotel room. They're not going to take care of themselves. We got to bring them somewhere.
So you would think that this is critical. You have to go take care of your little critters.
We got
actually-
to let somebody know.
I actually,
Well, and I guess I did
thought
get
that-
Sherman here from you. I guess
They're good.
Okay.
They're good people. They don't
I
kill.
actually had a thought there while I was
Yeah.
nursing the rest of this mug of wine here. Thanks for the refill,
Hey.
cowboy. Why don't we bring those animals over to the temple?
That's perfect. I thought you said that the temple crew was illiterate and not good at their job, or
Well, you know, I don't care what their friends say, but they're not that bad.
All right. Well, if they'll take care of these little guys, that's all that matters to me. Vivian French of French's Fauna.
That's right.
Limited.
I think, and I slam my hands down on the table. I think we should do this right now.
It's a fire sale.
That's exactly right. Then we
You-
should
you-
burn down your building.
Yeah. You're right. It's a fire sale.
Let's do it.
The room. Go ahead, Clyde.
I was just saying I'd like to flag down as soon as I get a chance, either Deborah or someone who I could settle up my bill with.
She swings by.
I've already paid for it.
Oh, you already did?
Yeah,
Then I'd like to leave a tip then, at least.
she'll
you
accept
tip for all of
whatever-
us, too?
Whatever you give.
I
I'm
did
gonna
tip.
give a gold coin. I'm gonna give a gold coin.
She
I think
gives
this is
you
excellent
gives
service.
you a little small curtsy and a wink, and she goes back towards the unforgiving crowd.
She's in the weeds.
But your rooms are in this lodge, this like establishment. You're on the first floor, Vivian, and Clyde, you're on the second floor.
Come with me to my room, guys. I'll show you something cool.
Do it.
All right, what's going on in the?
I grab a candle off of the end of the off the end of the bar on my way up.
Yeah, give me a sleight of hand check. See if anybody notices.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's a 19 off the top there, plus dexterity.
Yeah,
That's a 20.
you very suavely and quickly snatch the candle from the end of the bar and just move on. Nobody notices a thing. And you light your way in the already well lit room towards the hotel room, essentially, of one Vivian French. And you guys open the door upon French's Fauna. Why don't you describe it for us, Zach?
There's no bed. I got rid of that thing. In fact, some of the rats ate it. I lay in a nice hay pile, and around there are various nests all around. You know, little squirrels, a lot of red squirrels. They're looking real mean. Rats, a couple rabbits, maybe a couple cats, but they're all getting along. You know, it's magical in there. Low light, they're all cuddled down. A sight to be seen.
Wow. You got names for all of these?
Larry, Terry, Gary, Chuck, Clint's over there, and
you know, it seems a shame.
This is Mr. McGillicuddy.
Mm-hmm.
They're all male.
No doctors in the house.
No,
Mr. McGillicuddy gives you a wave.
Hey, say hi, Mr. McGillicuddy. We got to get these guys out. So let me just break out. They'll follow us if I just play them a little tune.
Oh, okay.
I bring out a fife.
Here we go.
And they're up. They're ready to go.
I thought you were done being a bard.
I'm not a bard. I'm a simple man. I've got a
cross-classing at level 1.
He's got bard blood, man. You can't get rid of it.
You can't get that stuff out of there.
Can do whatever he wants. You know what I'm saying?
Yikes.
Peter Piper.
You guys start
picked
leading
jalapeno poppers, and I'm feeding them to everybody.
Yeah, you're just handing poppers off to
dude. I'm lit up, dude.
Larry, Jerry, Gary, Chuck, Mr. McGillicuddy. They're all getting a popper. You notice that Sherman has one that he's been nursing since they first got served. So you guys are making your way through the. You guys are just making your way through the building, like completely, just with all these animals just following you.
Yeah, and I'm kind of wobbly on my feet, and I turn to
my rodeo.
I turn to the two new party mates. I'm like, hey, listen, you guys come with me. Remember, everybody eats. And as I say that, I run into somebody else's door because I'm not paying attention where I'm walking.
I wait for them all to leave the room, and I'm kind of like ushering the animals out the door.
You're the end of the train, yeah.
Yeah, I'm at the end of the train, and as everyone leaves the room and the boys are out and all the animals are out, I throw the candle on the bed.
Can I roll a perception to see if I notice this?
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't notice that he was holding the candle.
But like, if I'm standing there with them, and
you might be able to see him throw the candle at the bed.
At 22, that's what I'm looking to see if I.
With a 22, you watch him throw it onto what's left of the bed, which is some
pile
patches of hay. Yeah.
Oh, dude!
And they start going up immediately. Like it just immediately catches fire.
And can I?
Man, you got to be more careful, Mister.
Can I grab him and lift him up and just move him outside of the room and then close the door?
You're trying to restrain him. You have to give me a grapple check.
With advantage, I imagine. He is a gnome.
Well, he gets to use his acrobatics to get away from you. If it was strength on strength, maybe, but no. So he's gonna roll his acrobatics. You're gonna roll your athletics.
Okay. Well, it's a 14.
I also have a 14.
Oh.
Let's just do another roll. Let's see what happens
my roll
here.
was higher already.
Yeah, but his dex score is higher than your strength score, so let's just do another. Oh my god! You guys both rolled very well for both checks, but you go to scoop him up, and Clyde just.
I say, okay, well, you're gonna catch fire.
He makes it over to what's beginning to be a problem.
Okay,
how are you putting it out?
How big of a problem is it currently?
It's not
I'm throwing my cloak on it, and I'm gonna roll on top of the cloak.
That'll do
and
it.
Roll it out.
Yeah, you put the fire out. Yeah.
I'm standing outside the building.
You've already left. You couldn't scoop him, so you walked straight out the door. Tassles is waiting outside. What'd you notice when you get outside to the front?
I don't know if we should be traveling with tea. This mystery guy who wouldn't tell us his name and committed arson in front of my eyes.
I mean, he said, let's burn it down. And you guys said, yeah. In his defense, he had a yay from the party when he said he wanted to burn the place down.
This was I thought it was hyperbole.
My neutral good implications strongly suggest not to burn down an establishment as humble as this one.
He said burn it down, and I went and just wrecked the toilet.
Oh my god.
Like, that's what I thought what he meant.
Outside the establishment, you see that the two gentlemen who you guys knocked out and the burnt corpse are no longer there, which might explain and account for the lack of reaction from the incoming crowd.
Oh.
Someone clean this up really quickly.
So
Which
you're
not
just
too worried about.
outside, you know, they finally, you guys start to parade through this crowded bar with a train of animals. People are screaming. The staff is out of their minds. Everyone's trying to figure out what's going on. They part like the Red Sea as you just bring these varmints through. People are like, oh, it's rats, mice. Like, people are freaking out, jumping up on their bar
kind
stools.
of muttering, just another day at the office, nothing to see here. I'm just doing my job every time I'm showing up to this place, and you guys are freaking out. I'm just saving everybody here, and no one's worried about it, and just cool it.
Nobody sees that you're the cause of it. So you just like bring everybody out, you bring it all out, and it just looks like you led a parade of animals through the bar, but they're outside now. People are still screaming and freaking out inside. When you close the door, you can hear them through
It's cool.
the wood.
I think they'll be safe at the temple.
Those people didn't like those guys. These are my friends.
So I think from here the transfer goes fairly smoothly. You're able to get the animals down. Your menagerie, you're able to get them into the temple. The three monks are they have a lot of questions, but I imagine, Tassles, you don't really stop to answer them. You kind of just
No, I say, yep, this is good. I think right here will do.
You guys got it?
And why don't you, just describe the feeding habits of all 32 of these different species to my boss here.
Do you have a pen?
We'll be on our way.
Do you have a quill?
He
Parchment?
pulls out.
I do actually. Yeah.
It takes about an hour.
Okay. Okay.
So by then, once the hour is complete, I mean, we're getting late into the night. Talking probably 10 or 11 p.m. at this point. It's dark. Most people are kind of wandering home. You see some people kind of stumbling to their houses. People are, dealing with the trauma of kind of having to deal with bad news, and change. It's something that, a lot of people don't deal well with. So these guys are kind of, you see them kind of all going towards their houses.
All right, T, where's your room, bud?
Here at the temple.
All right,
I'll
can you show me?
Here.
Yeah, I'm crashing with you tonight. It's getting late.
Oh. Yeah. Right.
Is that cool?
Way. Sure.
I'm not staying with this lunatic. That's for dang sure. T. We can talk more about this later, but I have some reservations about traveling with you. Let's talk about it.
I kind of clasp you on the shoulder and I say, the last capitalist that we hang will be the one that sold us the rope.
Okay, I'm still trying to size you up. I get what you're saying, but burning down the bar, I don't think was a good way to express how you feel towards capitalism. I think there's a better way.
I thought we were done with this town. I thought we were heading out of here. Everybody's moving. We're going to build this new town.
Listen, you get some rest. I'll find a place. All
right.
So
are you just going back to your room there, Clyde?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to make
McGillard?
Yeah, I think so. That's the way.
Is there anything you guys want to do rest this evening, or should we move on to?
I'm cool
next
moving
day
on.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys enter your last day in Belnora, at least for the foreseeable future. You know that your supplies, your travel supplies, will be provided on the road when you're traveling with the caravan. but we have the whole town. You just check out the map here. We have the whole town to explore if you want to in your last day here. But feel free if you guys would like to just kind of move on to the caravan portion. We can do so.
I feel like Vivian's itching to move to the caravan portion. You know.
Do you guys have any place of business you'd like to head
Not gonna
to?
go to the Spice of Life.
Well, I don't think I know this town super, super well. I also don't think I have a lot of spices for sale, and I'm not in the business of buying spices.
Right.
I'm in the business
What
of
you would know about
finding
the
and
spice of
selling
life is that
spices.
it's actually more of a turn of phrase. It's more of an
Mm.
like an eccentricity shop than like an actual
Mm.
food or spice shop.
Now, just to touch base as far as the mechanic of our campaign going forward. I'm a ranger. Do you want me keeping close track of my arrows? Do I need to make sure to stock up on my ammunition when we get to each of these towns or when we're leaving, for example?
No. No.
I know that can be tedious, but I was curious, should I be stocking up on stuff like that before we hit the road?
I think that the way that we're gonna handle equipment, you guys have everything you need. You know, like you guys have been traveling for a while, and you've been in this town for a while, so you've had no use for things like that really. But
Mhm.
you would outside in your travels have, so my guess is you guys have like all of your equipment and all of your traveling gear and all of your belongings separate that you guys can kind of just take with you for your traveling, if that makes sense.
Walter, quit that, buddy.
But anything that you wouldn't have, there are different shops in the town. Yeah, I mean it's a there's plenty of stuff on the map, but we can also just move on if you'd like.
I think we should get to it. If we have the basic stuff we need to dive right in.
Yeah.
I don't think we start out our quest with a shopping spree, for example.
Just a other mechanical question, or rather just concern, is if I'm doing something wrong with the spells, just let me know, because I don't know even really what preparing a spell means, and I've never played a wizard before.
You can pick
But,
your spells at the beginning of each day, basically.
Okay.
And you can change them if you want.
Yeah. It's not like a
Okay.
sorcerer or whatever where like you're stuck with it for like the whole level or whatever that is.
And I'm supposed to have 2 spells, like at a time. Is that what you're kind of saying?
What?
You're a half orc wizard.
I mean, I have 2
Wizard.
slots. I have 2 spell slots or whatever, but I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spells, right?
Yeah,
Sorry,
each time you
so
gain a wizard level, you can add 2 wizard spells of your choice to your spell book for free. So you have 2 spells. So 6 spells start like 6 level 1 spells.
Right. Yeah.
But you have 2 spell slots right now.
Right.
So basically, starting now at level 1, you have 6 spells that you know. When you get to level 2, you'll have 8 level 1 spells that you know.
Okay.
When you get to level 3, you'll have 8 level 1 and 2 level 2 spells that you know.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. So it's all the spells that you know are one thing. You can prepare any number of those spells for the day. I think you can prepare 2 spells per day. And you can use those spells each day, but you
Okay,
have
got
a
it,
spell book
got
that
it.
you can keep going back to and say,
I'm in. I'm totally in. Thank you.
great. So you guys kind of pass the day away. Are you guys just on your own trying to get some alone time before you're traveling with a huge caravan? Or are you guys talking? Are you guys, how are you passing the day?
We woke up together at the Temple of All and left together, didn't we? There.
Yeah,
Bill?
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're, I'm up and at 'em, and we're ready to go.
I think I would get up early and try to meet them at the Temple of All
Oh, cool.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Knowing that they're going to be there, but not wanting
We were
going
going
to
to meet you up there.
Maybe we meet halfway, meet in the middle.
Well, you're here now.
So you guys are now outside the Temple of All in the town. Last day. In a few hours, you'll be heading out with the caravan from the Manor house. you guys figure you don't really have anything else you want to do in the town. You guys are eager to put it in your rear view. So I imagine that you guys are kind of just killing time, hanging out, maybe chatting a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe just kind of like making sure everything's packed, that kind of thing. And the sun starts to set, and it becomes, it gets to around the time that the Archduke said, "Hey, let's meet at the Manor House. We'll get this caravan out of here." So you guys make your way to the Manor House courtyard, and in it you see just a small group of people, maybe smaller than the Archduke had hoped. But you see 5 guards, and you see a handful of people. You see Nisha, who's one of the servers from the Mickulary Lodge. You see a couple other people, a couple other familiar faces. You see one of the brothers who works at the brewery. You see another server from the Weary Traveler's Rest. You see some, you see just a couple of people that you guys recognize, and the Archduke is outside, kind of orchestrating this kind of trip as it begins. There are still a couple people folding in, and he says, "Welcome, all of you, to the next chapter in securing our trade routes and ridding the country of this evil. Thank you so much for volunteering and for joining us here today. Does anybody have any questions for me before I retire to my manor house for the evening?"
I have one quick question for you, sir, if you could.
"Yes, young man."
When might the likes of us see a little bit of coin coming our way, maybe a little bit of payment for what we're about to do? Because this quest seems a little bit like it could be this like never-ending sort of situation of like I'm leading an entirely new life elsewhere and I never see you again.
We've marked the travel maps with a suitable placement for this new settlement, this new town. When you reach this settlement, you will receive the coin. But an excellent question.
So who's gonna bring? Is it gonna be like a guy? Is he like a feller or a lady on like a wagon that's just gonna roll in with like a bunch of little bags of coins? So there's one for you, good sir. Like what's the high sign?
One of the guards actually comes forward. She's this elven woman. She's got this like very bright silver plate, and she says, "You'll get your money, sir. All right, we're gonna hand it out when we get there. The guards will have it. We can take care of ourselves. We'll take care of your money. We'll make sure you get it when we reach our
So
destination."
we're traveling with the money.
That's right.
Well, I appreciate the clarity. That's all I was looking for.
Could I see the money, please? Could you show me? I want to make sure it's real.
The Archduke points to a large chest at the back of a wagon. Has a
Open
couple of oxen.
Could you open it?
I'm sorry, you'll have to speak up, my dear.
Come down here. Get on my level real quick.
The Archduke kind of comes towards you, but he doesn't get too close.
Could you open it?
The chest.
Yeah.
Yes, Ayla, open the chest. And you see that the elvish woman goes over and bangs on the top of the chest. It opens up, and you see many gold pieces. Maybe even a little bit more than 100 gold for each person.
That's probably enough to satisfy me there, Clyde. I don't know about you.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it all shakes out.
All right.
To be honest with you, traveling with this much money seems a little bit risky in these, times of banditry. But I suppose that's the sort of excitement I was signing up for.
And it seems even weirder that they just opened the chest for everyone to see right here, right now, huh?
Well, yeah, and also the way that you open it. Now, did you do anything in secret, or is it literally just you just
the Archduke clears his throat. I thank all of you for joining us on this venture, and I wish you safe travels. You're doing the town proud, and it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out. A new spot on the map. Definitely an exciting time to be alive. and he heads towards the manor house. The guards kind of pack in that chest a little deeper and kind of put some barrels around it, some other supplies around it.
That doesn't sound like he's been excited about anything in his entire life. The Archduke.
So you see everybody's kind of getting everything ready for this long journey. And this Ayla, the elvish woman in the armor, speaks up again. She says, "All right, guys, we have about 3 days of travel time to get to this destination on the map here. Before we get started, just want to talk to everybody and kind of garner your strengths and see what kind of roles we can assign you for the journey, and perhaps even get an idea of what we can expect from you once we get to this destination. So everybody line up and get to know you a little bit better." So the people around you all kind of start to line up in front of the guards. When you guys get to the front of the line, Ayla says, "All right, that's what is this? Vivian French,
Yeah, that's me.
Clyde Wonderspice, and it just says Tassles. Is that you, sir?"
This is our friend T.
That's T.
All right, sure. We can talk about nicknames when we get to know each other a little bit better. Look, gentlemen, 3 of you seem to be in a unit. What is it that you tell me? What strengths you can bring to our traveling party here?
You can call our unit T Unit.
No, you may not. We're the Spice Unit.
We can settle on the name for ourselves shortly
It's
here.
kind of a working title.
Yeah.
We'll just be the unit for now.
For now, unit.
She just
is
writes
great.
spiced tea on the pamphlet there. All right, gentlemen. And then as she's talking, one of the other guards steps forward and whispers in her ear. You recognize him from the night before. He was one of the guards who saw the aftermath of your fight and kind of gave you his blessing to go on your day. She says, "Well, my friend here tells me that you guys know how to handle yourselves in a fight. Is that right?"
I'm not gonna lie.
I know secrets and spells of the inner workings of the machinations of this world's minds that you would never be able to understand.
He's a level 1 wizard.
Yeah, but got that big brain. You know what I'm saying?
So you're some kind of spell casting wizard. That's great. Great to have you aboard. What do the other 2 of you gentlemen do?
Well, listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was the one that charred that man, turned him into a burnt marshmallow last night, and I'm not gonna lie. My blood was pumping. I'm not pleased with myself, but if that's what you need me to do to save the people of this town, and I'll do it. I'll cast the spells. I'll call the animals down. Vivian French of French's Fauna, of course. You must know me. Probably sold your wife a pet, right? Sold most people's wives pets in this town. A lot of people's wives know me.
Look, here's what I know about you, sir. I know that you got into a fight last night with some gentlemen who were apparently saying some pretty vulgar and awful things at the bar.
They were big meanies.
And you burnt a full-grown man to a crisp when he tried to knife you. These are the things that I've heard, and frankly, we've actually been hoping to find a few gentlemen who are a little bit more sure of themselves to perhaps scout ahead for our caravan on this journey. Is that something that you 3 would be willing to do for us? Pardon me.
I mean, you never even assessed what I'm capable of doing, but I'm happy to get lumped in with the unit here and go forth and track.
Here's what I know about you, Mr. Wonderspice. I know that you jumped up into the air and punched a man out.
Did you hear that from him?
Did
you hear that from this guy?
The guy's just like, hell yeah, dude.
Okay, all right. Well, he said it.
I'll do it on one condition, all right? Any small forest animal that we see, I get to keep it, all right? No commissions on your end. That's mine. to deal with. All right.
Oh, I won't stop you. That seems the least I could do. I was actually going to offer each of you an extra 50 gold pieces for your hard work.
I'll take that too, but the animals are mine.
Yeah, sure, sir. 150 gold pieces upon the reach of our destination if the three of you scout ahead of our caravan and take care of any troubles, or at the very least report back to us about the troubles that are ahead.
What do you say, T? I think he's muted.
Nice muted mic.
What?
There we go.
There he is.
Excuse me? I said I think you're going to need tassels up front.
All right. I'm getting some mixed messages about what your name is, but I'm excited to have you on board. I'm really excited. She says, all right, gentlemen, we're going to head out in about 10 minutes. Why don't you guys get on the road? And she hands you a map. And she says, follow this trail, follow this path here. It does go through a wooded area, a forest glade, if you will. But for the most part, a lot of our trip is out in the open. You'll be able to see most of what's going on far ahead of where we're going to be. That forest area is what I would say is probably the most likely point for any trouble. So I would be on the lookout, especially when we hit that wooded area.
I grab the map kind of out of instinct and start looking at it, and then sort of a little more sheepishly pass it to Clive.
Now, as a ranger, skilled in survival, perception, and nature, am I guess, have I been to these woods before? Are these woods new to me? Like, would I know without having to necessarily look at this map a little bit about these woods? Or is this my first time in this area?
My guess is that in your travels, you've probably passed through on the road through this forest.
Now, with that, if I were to maybe roll either a nature or a survival check, would I maybe know of like any specific points that I think could be trouble points for like a bandit or a highwayman to be waiting? For example, if I was like, the woods are extra thick kind of up here, this is my guess.
I don't think you're that familiar with it. I mean, okay. I think you've been there maybe once, maybe twice, but I don't think I mean, I think that maybe as you get in there, you might be able to make a nature check as you're seeing these things and kind of figure out.
Gotcha. So but I'm not okay. I guess I was just trying to gather how familiar with these woods I am, but I'm not that familiar.
They're in the like 20 miles, 30 miles away from the town type of. You wouldn't be going out there all the time.
Gotcha. Cool. I take a gander at the map and then I pass it along for Viv, Mr. French, to take a gander if he'd like to.
I'm gandering.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have a map that shows you the route to get from Belnora to this settlement, and
do we have horses? Are we on foot?
Everyone's on foot.
All right.
Yeah, it's just there's too many people to like send out the town's horses for everybody. So there's like a couple guards who have horses, but everybody else like is kind of just, you have some people, a couple kids who are like sitting on the back of the wagon. But mostly everybody is like on foot, kind of moving. It's 120 miles, gotcha. She says, to get from Belnora to this destination here. 120 miles should take us about 3 days if we do 12, 10 to 12 hours a day. Make a good pace.
Well, let's get to it then. What do you say, fellers?
Lead the way.
All right.
So the three of you. Newly minted boys jumping on the old open trail. You guys make your way towards the city gates. The guards open them for you. And you see an open road of possibility ahead of you.
Wow.
The sun's set. It's dark. The journey is starting in the dark. You guys are going to go through the night.
Mm-hmm.
As we're kind of just really quick, what I'm hoping to do before we even kind of start this journey is very casually cast Tensor's floating disc. And I would love to put all my gear on Tensor's floating disc.
Mm-hmm.
And then, kind of give the other guys some strong looks, but not really say anything about it.
Yeah, you guys see this like giant floating disc. He puts all his stuff on it.
How big is it?
Tassels gives you a look.
I'll tell you exactly how big it is. It's about 3 feet all the way across, and it floats about 2 or 3 feet off of the ground, and its weight capacity is like 500 pounds.
I'll tell you what, that looks Clyde size to me.
Without even saying anything, I say thanks, dude, and try to start climbing on top of it. It was pretty nice of you, man.
How heavy are you? How heavy is it?
How heavy is a 3.5, 4 foot dwarf? What's the average weight?
About 150 pounds.
Yeah.
So you're doing all right.
There's no science behind average weights.
Okay.
He's about 150 pounds. So you're able to get on there with his stuff.
Hey, thanks, man.
I think
this really means
Clyde
a lot.
is also able to get on there.
I'll walk. I think I prefer actually keep my feet on the ground. For
Cool.
now, anyway.
You guys start making your way. The idea is to do about 40 miles a day.
Mm-hmm.
Stopping for rests and kind of in between.
I would like to, once we're a couple hours into it, if nothing happens, at some point I want to start keeping an eye open for tracks to see I guess how traveled this particular trail is. I just want to be keeping my eyes peeled, specifically for tracks.
Yeah. So in that case, let's kind of just you guys make your way, kind of making small talk, and you get about 5 miles down the road, and you see the signs of a battle. And you remember that the Archduke said that about 5 miles east of the city, or of the town, that's where this kind of bandit attack happened. And you see, a couple wagons that are burnt and empty. You see a couple of bodies that have just been left out.
I say that this is the closest they've ever come to town, as long as I've been here.
Go ahead and give me a survival check there, Clyde.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never had survival as a skill. I'm itching to roll the dice about it. That's a natty 1 right there.
You don't. I mean, the tracks are really old. You see a couple kind of obvious ones on the road. You can't tell if they were the merchants or if they were the bandits. You're not really able to kind of make heads or tails out of it. You kind of just think, yeah, it's been almost 2 days, probably maybe more.
I'd like to take a gander as well, as I am proficient in survival as a druid.
All right, give us a survival check there.
That's a 19.
With a 19, you're able to tell kind of, you see that the merchants, they have boots and shoes and stuff, but these bandits were kind of wearing heavier boots with spurs, some of them, so you can kind of see the spur marks in the ground. And you see there is a trail that leads away off the path into kind of the plains a little bit there.
Hey, Clyde.
You know that they're about 2 days old.
Clyde, what do you make of this? See these tracks here?
No. With a natty 1. With his help, do I notice the tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Could I make another roll to see if I know anything more about him, or am I just noticing them now that he's pointed them out?
You just see them now. Yeah.
Right.
What you got is what you got.
Should we try to track these guys before they? Maybe we could find their base
that's
camp.
a great idea.
I think definitely we should do that. They're paying us a handsome sum. I want to make sure they get their money's worth.
Can I roll an investigation before we leave this spot?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
A natty 2.
You're not really. I mean, you have about the information that everybody else does at this point.
Great.
This is obviously where some kind of fight happened.
Yeah.
So you guys, you're thinking about going to track the
Follow
bandits.
The
follow that
bandits.
other path.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Okay. So you guys are gonna have to go pretty well off the path to do that. They lead pretty far off of the trail from the map.
Yep.
Are you gonna you're just gonna go?
I think
we should
Clyde.
tell
I think
Ayla.
I think Clyde had it right. This is what we're out here to
We should
do.
leave him a note.
As soon as we pass, though, like as soon as we pass by this and the caravan comes out, they're going to come out of that same spot and attack them. So we might as well go down this road.
Let's leave him a note, though, right?
If we're
A note,
right
what the hell
there
does that
with,
matter?
are we far ahead of the rest of the caravan?
We're
Yeah.
miles ahead.
Okay.
Let's leave him a note.
I draw a big X in the ground with my quarterstaff.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
I think if we're far enough ahead, we really should just try to be proactive about this trail. I think see where it goes.
I'm gonna leave a note.
Okay.
Give me one more survival check, both of you guys.
Yeah. Oh, 9 for me.
Nice. It's a 19 for
Oh,
me.
big boy.
So you guys get a little bit off the road and you start to follow the trail. And you immediately have this kind of realization that this trail is just going to go off. It doesn't look like they turned around. It doesn't look like it just looks like they went off. You can see kind of a mile out, even in the dark by the moonlight. There's nothing around.
They've left.
Yeah.
They've left, and these are old tracks to begin with.
That's right.
Okay. Can we look at the map that we were given? I don't know how big it is, but is there any like town or area marked on there where we could we suppose what direction they were headed?
Let's see. I'll bring you guys over to the
If they're traveling
map
in a
of the
relatively
kingdom.
straight line, it would be nice to.
looking at the map of the kingdom. So you guys you see to the west, it goes in the direction of the forest and the direction of like Lawton. That town a little bit to the west. So it honestly, I mean, they could have gone to the coast. They could have gone to Lawton, Huntington. They could have gone
Right.
up, double back through the woods towards Julius. You don't really have any way of knowing exactly where they went, but they went away.
They went west.
Yeah.
Great. They went west, possibly towards Lawton,
Yeah.
possibly towards a hideout in that direction. Okay, then if we're suspecting that this is going to continue carrying on into the distance, I think we should return and continue moving forward.
Leave these bandits out here?
Well, I think they're long gone, and I think the fear is that it might not just be one bandit group. It's a trend of bandits showing up. I think there could be other bandits to worry about.
Bandits are trending.
They're trending right now. They're big time. This could be just one gang of opportunists. So,
Yeah, I guess the main road, we're going to probably encounter some bandits on the main road, if anywhere.
yeah.
But
By the time we hunt
I
down
just have
these guys, I think that
I
there
just
could
have
be...
one of those feelings that that someone's going to circle back, and be behind the caravan by the time we find this next place. By the time we find this settlement.
So I think the hope is that Alis is competent enough to be keeping an eye from that caravan on their, from behind us. If we can make sure that the direction we're heading is as clear as possible, I think that should be the goal here.
All right.
So you guys make your way down another few miles. You guys are starting to see the wooded area kind of off in the distance. And then you guys kind of you travel through the night. You're able to make your 30 miles, 40 miles, no other signs of activity. You see some trails, like some wagon wheel trails, and some foot trails that you imagine that the merchants left on their way down. As you guys know, there's a pretty well-traveled route. It's like a trade route. So you guys make it to. You think that about halfway through the next day of travel, you could probably make it to the woods. Would you guys like to stop and rest, or do you want to keep going? Because you know that after a certain amount of time, the caravan itself is going to rest.
Yeah.
I think we keep pushing on. I still got some energy. You know, we got full hit points here.
I was
keep
going to say
pushing
that
on.
I was going to say I have a few more hours, left in my tensor's floating disc, and the hope with that, in kind of the begrudging, passive aggressive way that I do things, I guess, as Tassel does them, was that it would sort of alleviate some of our energy by, what's his name here? The dwarf.
Vivian.
What's your name? Yeah,
Yes.
Sorry. Vivian, hasn't had to walk all day. So I feel like we got plenty of energy to keep going.
I mean, Tensor's floating disc lasts for an hour.
Oh, shit. Okay, sorry.
So at some point, very quickly after you left,
I could have sworn it was 24 hours or something.
wouldn't that be? That'd be very nice. But
Okay,
no,
well,
Like
now-
one
now
time,
I'm-
like
now
you
I'm
just make
advocating-
one good disc.
Now
and it'll last
I'm
you your whole
advocating
life.
for resting.
If you
we've heard
guys,
a 180.
if you guys want, I mean, how far out? Sorry, I know you mentioned it, James. How far out ahead of our caravan would you say we are?
You guys are moving at a faster pace than the caravan would, and since you haven't stopped at all, you have a feeling that you guys are probably like a good maybe 4 or 5 miles ahead of them.
Let's just take
I
a
mean-
short rest, get a little food so we're not fatigued, and then move on.
Yeah, I think 4 miles is not that far, but I'm happy to take the rest. If you guys want to take a rest, I almost feel like pushing forward would be the way. If someone comes upon us here, I mean, especially if they have horses, covering the ground of 4 miles is not enough time to warn anyone. Okay, look, we can just chill. We can take a rest. Are you thinking
Like-
just a short rest?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Off in the distance, you guys do hear 3 short horn blasts from the caravan, indicating that they're going to stop and take a rest. So around the same time that they stop, you guys have the thought, let's take a short rest here. You guys have some rations that you were given, so you guys have plenty of food. You guys can do whatever you want for an hour, kind of rest right back up. You can regain your spell slot there, Mike.
Yeah. And I'd like to maybe roll a perception, see if I can find any critters.
You're kind of in the middle of nowhere right now.
No birds flying overhead or anything.
Not really. I mean,
right.
you see there's like mountains of like 10 to 12 miles to the east. You
Yeah.
can kind of see them looming. But other than that, it's just flat and you don't really see anything going on. You see some bugs.
No time for bugs. I'm not an insect man.
So your 1 hour rest concludes and you guys let's see. So you've been
Were
going
those
through the
horns
night.
indicating that they are setting up a long rest.
They're
Are they
going to
there
do a
for the
long
whole-
rest. Yeah.
So then if we still got some juice and if we just took this short rest, maybe the right move is to like head back towards the caravan or like start to check out the perimeter around. Like instead of forging ahead further, maybe it's worth just kind of like, yeah, almost trying to like branch out slowly from the perimeter. I
Head,
think
you
you're
know what I mean?
muted again. Like there you go.
I don't think that's necessarily the point of our scouting ahead, right? It's like the road ahead is what we're kind of concerned with. Like the
Well,
the
that and
caravan is-
ambushing.
the
If they're
caravan, like,
resting for the night.
Yeah, but if we were going to guard them at night, then we would have just stayed with them and not been ahead at all. It wouldn't have mattered.
So what do you suggest?
We're trying
We
to
just-
flush
we
out
keep moving-
attacks
we- no,
ahead
we
of
just
time.
keep-
Yeah.
We just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. So how far do you guys want to go ahead? Do you want to just go into the forest, or do you want to go until the forest, or
Let's go into
do
the
you want to
forest.
okay?
Let's get in
So-
that forest.
So you guys make it another 20-ish miles. Nothing, no problems, no issues in sight, and you make it into the woods. And the sun is actually up at this point. We're kind of getting into the early afternoon, like the early afternoon. So we're looking at noon, 1 o'clock. And the sun, which has gotten quite warm, in this kind of late spring day, you're kind of getting into this really nice shaded area in the woods. It's got a thick canopy. There's some sunlight that beats through, but for the most part, it's just kind of a nice shade that you're getting. Way cooler. The temperature drops, 5-6 degrees. And you find yourselves on this well-tread path in the woods. So I know when you said when we got here, you said you wanted to do a little nature check there, Clyde. So why don't you give me a nature check, see if, as you're kind of looking around.
What do I notice? It's gonna be a 17.
So right here at the opening, it's a lot of clear space by the path, but there are these like trees that arch over, kind of in like they create kind of like a tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
You see that goes on for a few miles down, like as these huge trees kind of like cross over the path and provide this weird shade.
How thick is the foliage of these trees? If I were to scamper up a tree,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
would
yeah.
I be able to see ahead, or is it like pretty thickly, leaved?
You wouldn't be able to
couldn't
see very well through the top of it.
Okay,
There's very little light kind of streaming in through the canopy.
gotcha.
But you can see pretty far ahead of you. It's all very flat. But you see kind of a few miles down the road, looks like it starts to curve. And you think that maybe when you get around that curve, you could probably get a little bit more information.
Gotcha. I'd like to relay that info
Mhm.
to these fellers, and I think I'd suggest that we keep pushing forward. I don't know what you guys think, but if I were a bandit, I could see the value in waiting around the bend where no one could see you, and as soon as you curve the side, that's where the ambush point could be.
Should we sneak into the woods off the path then?
I think maybe running parallel to the path without actually treading on the path might be the best way for us to maybe get the drop on these sons of guns.
So
I think that's what we got to do.
let's try to move forward stealthily, right?
All right, let's get stealth rolls, everybody.
Yeah.
Not a stealthy boy, that's for sure.
Oh, 16 for me.
That is going to be a 12.
So all of you guys are above 10. So you guys are you kind of make good speed, and you're very quiet. Yeah, you step on a branch every now and then, Clyde. It's been a while since you've been in the woods. But you guys are, for the most part, you're pretty quiet. You head over around that curve, and when you get to the curve, around the curve, you see the road ahead splits.
Oh.
So which side are you guys going to be on, the right or the left of the path here?
I was imagining that we were on the left side. Did the curve take us like to the left?
Yeah.
Like when we round the curve?
Mhm.
So I imagine that we had been walking on the left side.
Yeah,
According
I'm
to
with
our
you.
map and the route we were going, which direction are we heading at this fork? Are we taking a right, technically?
You are going to be taking a right, yeah.
So, do we try to? What do you guys? What do you guys think we should do?
I stop the guys as we come up here.
Give me a perception check, Tassels.
Sorry, it's a 9.
That's okay. Okay. You don't see anything. What do you say?
I was going to cast Unseen Servant
Mm-hmm.
and send my little invisible guy forward, just straight ahead of us around that bend on the left,
Yeah.
and
Why
see
don't, can you ping it on the map for me where
and
you want to
see
send it?
if just up in I don't know how to ping.
Hold down when you click, like click and hold
Oh,
down.
yeah.
Nice. Around to the left. Yeah.
Up around to the left, and basically the idea is that it's like this thing that can like hold things and
It has weight.
it touch people, and
Yeah.
so what I'm hoping is that it kind of breaks a branch somewhere up there, and basically the idea is that it may cause a reaction.
Okay. Are you sending it on the path or ahead of you through the woods?
I was kind of imagining, one of these like up around here, this way. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. You cast Unseen Servant and you send the servant through the woods and you hear it like collide with someone and you hear someone say, "Ah, what the hell is that? What the hell is that?" And then you hear somebody else call, "What's going on over there, Greg?" And all of a sudden, you guys haven't been heard or seen, but what you see is a bunch of goblins move out into the clearing here.
The Gorblins.
Gerblins.
The
They come
Gerblins.
from all sides. They had a nice little ambush set up, and you see them. And Greg, the goblin, says, some weird invisible thing just walked right into me." And
Is he saying this in Goblin or is he saying this in common?
he's just saying it in common. And they just are all kind of chatting about it, like trying to get to the bottom of what it was. They have no idea where it came from. What do you guys do? You see,
Let's
they're all
ambush 'em.
armed.
I'm like, let's go.
Let's go, dude.
Let's go.
Can we get a
ambushed
surprise
them.
round of attack? On
You
these
guys
fellas?
do, and you have Mike's very, very interesting unseen servant idea to thank. He literally pinged on the goblin, on Greg the goblin. So
Amazing.
funny.
Classic Greg.
So I'm just going to
classic
reveal the
Greg
rest of the
stuff.
map so we can just kind of like look
Yeah,
at it.
yeah.
The two spells that I prepared were the disc and the servant.
And
about
they both
Just
come in handy.
Nice, useful.
What about
utility
grease?
spells.
Well, yeah, I know. Tomorrow is Greece.
Tomorrow's grease day.
Tomorrow's a good grease day.
Grease me up.
That's what I learned incendiary slime. You know what I'm saying?
So let's see. Each
Sorry to
square
delegate.
on the map here is 5 feet.
Yeah, yeah.
So in order to get the surprise round, you guys are going to have to continue to sneak because they're aware that something's here now.
Right.
Oh,
So you're going to have to sneak with a bit of a harder DC here.
okay.
But if you guys have ranged attacks, I'll let you move your 30 feet and use a ranged attack.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to have to get up to them to attack them with a surprise round.
I have ranged. I just
have
got
ranged
to
as
get
well.
closer. I got to be within 30 feet of them.
Do you have ranged tassels? Hello?
You're muted.
Your sound keeps cutting out for some reason.
God.
There, I hear you again. There you are.
Computer's giving me issues today. It might just be the internet though. But anyways, no, I don't have any ranged
Okay.
except for
so
my disc.
Which which we've established it lasts for a full hour. So let's go ahead and have you roll your stealth check to see if you. I'll let these other guys take their range attacks with a surprise round. But
Okay.
give me another stealth check there, Tassels.
Okay. 13.
Oh.
13.
Yeah.
Okay. Just move yourself on the map. You should be able to move yourself. Move yourself.
Are we rolling initiatives yet or not?
I'll have you guys do that in just a second here.
Okay.
That's me, because I'll have
Yep.
to move myself as well.
So how far is that? 5, 10, 15,
I
20,
moved
25, 30?
30.
Okay, you
Yeah.
guys both move 30.
There I am, yeah.
Clyde, you want to move yourself 30 so you can attack?
So I think because I have a longbow and I have more range that can be covered.
Yeah.
1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I think I'd like to get up to like here.
Yeah, you can definitely do
5,
that.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. like right kind of at the edge of the path.
Great. So Vivian, Clyde, you can take your guys' ranged attacks. Just let me know who you're attacking. Tassels, you do break a branch on your way through, and you alert these guys. So you'll roll initiative in just a sec here. But let's get a surprise round from Viv and Clyde first.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit produce flame, and I'm gonna hurl a fireball at this little gentleman. Is that Greg?
That's Greg. Yeah,
Oh,
that's Greg the Goblin.
I felt it. Greg the Goblin. So yeah, range spell attack. Ra-da-da-ba-dee-ba-boop. Yes, sir. 19.
Yeah, that hits Greg the Goblin. Go ahead and roll some damage.
Burn it, dude. 6 fire damage to Greg.
You set him on fire, and you hear him scream, and the other goblins all around say, "Witchcraft! Witchcraft!"
Oh boy,
Clyde.
Let's see. Are you able to tell me what like sort of weapons these guys are wielding, or is that a perception roll? I'd like to like
that's a
quickly
perception
assess
roll.
the main kind of threat here. That's going to be a 16 perception.
You see that there are two in front of you that have little tiny crossbows that like look incredibly makeshift. Beyond the crossbow, you see this goblin here has a couple of little knives. There's a goblin with a shield and scimitar, and then there's a goblin that seems to have a staff or like a large stick with a deer skull that has antlers on it like attached to the top of it.
Gotcha.
And he is like a little meteor. Like you can see he's got some muscle, and he points at Greg and says, "Put him out! Put him out!"
I'm gonna help put him out. I'm gonna try to double down. I think the key is to drop their numbers. So I'm going to attack the guy that was hit with fire. I believe it was this gentleman. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's Greg.
Poor Greg.
Greg. Let's see if we can hit Greg with an arrow.
Oh.
That's going to be a 21 to hit.
Yeah, you hit Greg.
Nice. That is going to be a 1d8 plus 4 is 12 damage on Greg. That's max damage on Greg.
You actually shoot him through the side of the head, and he just immediately goes down. And the fire
put him out, dude.
The fire keeps burning him up.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Listen, you got to remember to stop. You got to remember to drop and roll. All of those 3 are what you need to put out a fire like that.
You've killed Greg. Greg is dead. All right, everybody roll initiative.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Greg.
The meaty goblin, the muscly goblin,
Oh, no.
then points at you, Clyde, and says, "Get him! Get him!" So what do we got here?
I got a natty 1.
So you'll go last there.
Crit fail. I got
minus 10.
Carry on. Mine's a big 19.
What was Greg's last name?
Check his wallet.
You'll never know. You've killed him. He's dead.
Did his wallet burn up?
It's lost to the fire.
All that's left is the chain that he had connecting it to his.
These are hot topic
Front
goblins.
Yeah. These are gothblins.
What sort of affliction clothing do they have on?
Yeah.
It's actually Ed Hardy.
Oh, okay.
So this goblin leader rushes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. When he realizes he's not going to be able to reach you with his weapon, he pulls out a little sling that has a rock in it, and he throws it at you.
Throwing rocks, dude. Don't
That's
throw rocks.
23 to hit.
That is going to hit. Big time.
You'll take 2 damage as he hits you. Sorry, 3 damage as he hits you with a rock.
Okay.
Rock.
But it is your turn now.
Get him.
I would like to retaliate with arrows. Am I able to actually? And you know what? No, we're just gonna shoot him. We're just gonna shoot him with the bow and arrow. That's
Shoot-
Clyde's style.
Shoot him, Jacob.
We're gonna shoot him.
Shoot him.
Oh, big time! That's gonna be a 25 to hit.
That certainly hits this guy. Go ahead and roll me some damage.
Okay, that's gonna be 8 damage to
Oh,
the beefy
my.
meaty man.
Oh,
So
my.
the arrow goes straight through his chest, and you have a feeling like you have this thought like if this was a normal goblin, he would just immediately die. But
Mhm.
he looks like he's going into the like equivalent of a goblin rage. You see, he starts to froth at the mouth. It's like red froth, and he just starts his eyes roll back, and he's still standing.
You ruined
what I'd
my
like to
Ed
do-
Hardy shirt.
If I'm able to take my movement action now, since I haven't moved yet, is that doable?
Yeah.
I'd like to move. I'm going to try to lure him into the woods where my friends are. See if we can ambush him that way. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'd like to move like here. Is that doable?
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20. Looks like 25. Kind of at the base of this tree. I'm just running around. I'm going to lure him into this little inlet of trees.
Oh,
Great.
To hopefully be within range of my allies. That's
Okay.
my turn.
This goblin with the 2 knives, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He makes his way 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. He runs in front of Viv here, but he doesn't get to attack. He had to take his whole turn to move. Tassles, you're up.
All right, I can walk under this tree, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to just come up here to our frothing boy
Yeah.
and cast Shocking Grasp. Now, I guess I should ask this first. Is he wearing armor?
He is not.
Okay. Well, I'm going to cast Shocking Grasp.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Does it have to be metal armor?
If the target is wearing armor made of metal.
Yeah, he's wearing leather armor.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll to hit this guy with your shocking grasp.
Oh, pardon me. Okay, and that's, yeah, +5. So, I mean, whatever that
23.
is.
23. Yeah, that definitely hits this guy. Go ahead and roll your shocking grasp damage.
Oh,
Yes, big time.
Wow, wee.
Big time.
So how much does that do? Is that just it is what it is on the die?
Yeah, I don't add anything to it. I don't think.
So you grab this guy's arm and you send a jolt of electricity through him. He starts to shake and his tongue sticks out and his eyes that were rolled back in his skull come back down. He looks at his arm and he has like this little like weird mohawk thing and it just starts to stick up with static electricity and he just crumples to the ground dead.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
This is supposed to be their champion, their hero, right? This is
Yeah.
a meaty man.
You guys have like killed their leader. He drops his like stick with deer antler skull.
Can't wait to
hell
loot
yeah.
that guy.
I want that stick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That brings us to this gentleman with the scimitar here. I think he sees they still have enough numbers that he's not necessarily going to run away here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. He's coming back here. This guy's going to take a shot at you, Tassels. He's got his like little crossbow.
Uh-huh.
That's a 23 to hit.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. You're going to take 3 damage as he hits you with an arrow.
Oh.
He looses the bolt and he struggles to reload. Vivian, it's your turn.
Poison spray.
At this guy with the knives right in front of you. All
Oh, yeah. Right on him.
right, so he rolls for that, right?
Yeah, he's got to beat a 14, and it's a con save.
What do they add to their? Oh, he rolled a 13,
Oh.
but he adds 0
Yeah!
to that save.
So is the tie a failure then?
No, so he had to beat a 14. He got a 13.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Oh.
he fails. Go ahead and roll damage on
It's
the
a
poison spray.
D12. Come on, baby. 7. All right.
You hit this guy with a poison spray, and he like immediately reflexively just starts throwing up, and he sinks down, and you hear him making just disgusting gurgling noises as he chokes on his own tongue. That brings us to Clyde. There are two of them left.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so I'd like to dart back out near the road and shoot at this guy.
Yeah.
With the longbow. So essentially what Clyde's doing is runs out to the road, takes a shot, darts back into the trees, and then just like darts back out and keeps taking shots. He's a mysterious little feller.
He's a quick little feller.
He's a quick little guy. He's going to run to there. I think is a clear line, clear shot.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and roll to hit this guy.
We're going to blast him.
Oh,
big time. That's a
my.
23 to hit.
Huge rolls. That definitely hits.
Oh, baby. That's 11 damage.
You put one through his eye. You put him down. He immediately dies. He feels no pain. A merciful kill.
I appreciate that because I might have been talking a big game, but this is the first time I think Clyde's actually taken the life of like a sentient being.
Killed that other goblin too.
Yeah, but he was
That dude was on fire.
He didn't deliver the final blow, all right? Or wait,
Yeah,
no, I guess he did. I guess you did.
No, I
You
didn't.
put him out of his misery.
You shot him after he was burned and he died. You went right through his.
Oh, that guy. Okay, so I'm getting used to it
That's a lot
then.
of guys.
This is the
That's a
second
lot of
time
guys.
I've taken a
Well,
life.
like goblins, aren't you like naturally kind of don't really have an affinity for goblins? I imagine.
You know, you can't like speak for. Do you even know anything about me?
No,
We didn't
Clyde
know your
Wonder-
name until 12 hours ago.
I'm not here to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, Tassels, it is your turn.
Okay. What's the diagonal thing again?
You can go. The first one is 5. The
5
second one is 10.
Doubled. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get up in here for 25 feet.
Mhm.
That's it.
Okay. I mean, so you're just gonna move 25 feet and that's it.
And pray to God. Yeah, that's right.
You put up a prayer. This guy sees that he hears the death knell of each of his comrades, and he turns tail. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
I howl at him.
He disappears off the map. So he goes down the opposite
You're
direction.
howling at him, you said?
I said, "Ooh."
Excellent. Okay, now I understand.
Yeah, it goes a long way towards making him run just a little faster. And you guys have defeated the goblin ambush. You have ambushed my ambush.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yes.
Uh,
Let's get looting. Am I right? Can we search these pockets?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You guys find 40 silver pieces. You find 2 potions of lesser healing.
Nice.
And back where those guys were hiding, back kind of in the middle of this intersection, behind this big tree, there's a chest full of furs.
Ooh.
You don't know how much they're worth, but they're very nice. You have a feeling they may or may not have come from the merchants who came this way.
Oh.
Whether they were ill-gotten or not, you don't know.
Can we split them all up into our packs? Is
Just
there
take
room
them,
for the
animal
furs?
Yeah.
boy. Just
Yes.
take them.
Yeah, are we in agreement that like we don't need to ask questions about where these came from? These came from the goblins that were going to kill us. We don't need to investigate further as far as the morality of taking these pelts is concerned.
But we should definitely take them out of the chest.
Yeah,
that's
we
what you're
should. We
saying.
should.
We're
take 'em out
gonna
of the
we're
chest.
gonna take them. We're not
Yeah.
gonna find the original owners. No, we're just gonna take
Not
them.
today.
No.
Yeah.
You also have this what's referred to as a boss stick.
Yes.
Tell
Tell me about this stick.
It's a D8 of damage, and you can add strength or dex. It's a versatile weapon.
That's
You can
sick.
add strength or dex to damage.
Oh man.
It's shoddily made, so you have a feeling if you were to strike poorly, like particularly poorly, it would just break.
Tassels,
You
this
also
seems like
see-
something you could get.
I'm gonna put my
swinging.
quarterstaff kind of on my back and carry the boss stick
You've got it. You've got
as
the
a little
boss
bit
stick,
of
my friend.
as a little bit of a trophy.
It is small in your large hands.
More of a cane.
More of a cane, really. Yeah. Clyde, you notice something on this boss goblin. On his tunic, he has a sigil that you haven't seen in an awful long time, but it is the symbol of the Reavers, the group that burned down your village when you were a young kid.
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay.
So you notice that symbol is on all of the goblins, in fact, and you can start to kind of maybe think about that a little bit.
Cool.
Are there any good wallet chains left over, or do we burn all those?
Were they all goth blends, or was it just one goth blend?
The Reavers is the name of their new metal band.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Well, they'd be wearing Jenkos then. So is there a good pair of Jenkos around that I could pick up?
There's actually a grape Fago in the pocket.
Mm.
All right, I actually think that's a pretty good place to stop. So you guys finished your goblin fight, and you guys got some cool loot, and we have things kind of in a nice spot to pick up for the rest of the travel in the next sesh.